I just want to welcome ASUW President Riley Talamontes and ASUW Vice President Courtney Titus. And this morning, we really just want to visit quickly about how students might be feeling or their reactions about this semester. And as we have made a quick shift, what are some tips that you might recommend for us?
Yeah, well, I guess I would say that, your ASUW leadership is feeling just as overwhelmed and confused at times too. We're students experiencing this right with you, and we're doing the best we can to try and access that information so that we can provide it to you in the best manner possible. So today, I guess we're going to kick it off just with going over the phases a little bit because, that town hall seems like it was already a week ago. And, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 are really the important ones to know if you're not a distant student. If you're a distant student, all you need to worry about is, just focusing on your online classes and communicating with your faculty members on how you're going to be successful in those classes. So phase 1, I'll go over that one really quickly, and then maybe Riley can jump in for phase 2. Phase 1 is going to be athletes, RAs, members of the FSL community if you're living in your chapter's houses, ROTC students, speech language pathology graduate students, WAMU students, junior nursing students, Law Summer Institute, and first-year law students. Other law students will come in at a different phase. And then bridge program students, and then graduate students with dean approval, and then any students who met the housing exemption. So if you are on that list, you're definitely in phase 1. And if you think you may or may not be on that list because you have plans to live in on-campus housing or you're living in the FSL chapter houses, I really suggest you reach out to Housing and Dining directly or to your chapter houses directly. Because as I mentioned, ASUW and UW leadership is doing the best we can to answer your questions, but those folks are really working hard for you and those smaller, more specific populations, and they'll be able to answer your questions more quickly. And that phase does take place August 24th through September 4th, and that's the time frame that you are permitted to be back on campus if you're in one of those populations.
Yeah, so phase 2 is going to be starting on September 7th, so that's about 3 weeks into the semester, and that's when we have about 3,500 more students come onto campus, so we'll raise our student population to that number. And so all the students who are included in phase 2 are students who are in phase 1, any freshman students taking face-to-face first-year seminars. So if you do happen to be a transfer student, and this is technically considered your first year, you would be included on the phase 2 if you are taking a face-to-face first-year seminar. This group also includes all first-year students who are planning on living in the residence halls, all of our students in the College of Law, our LRCC students, and then our pharmacy P1 students as well. And this time frame that you all can be moving in is September 7th through September 25th, and you are still required to complete your pre-return COVID-19 vault test prior to your arrival. And I do just want to echo something that Courtney also brought up. If you all are having maybe complications with your move-in, the time frames don't necessarily work for you and you are needing an exemption, I highly recommend to not just reach out to RLDS, but even call the COVID hotline that Student Affairs has set up for students just to answer any relevant questions that are in regards to COVID and exemptions.
Thanks, lady. That was beautiful. As we think about some of the other situations that our students might be facing, what are some resources that will still be in existence during phase 1 while we're all online?
Yeah, so we still have a ton of resources that are ready for students that when they return to campus. And even if they decide to, wait until phase 2 or different parts of phase 2 or phase 3 to be on campus and move in, these services and resources are still offering virtual offerings. So those kind of look like the library if you all are wanting to check out a book or use the computer lab facilities. Those are all still open. Just you have to make sure that you're social distancing and wearing a mask just like you do anytime you're on UW's campus. The University Counseling Center is still open and going to be offering telehealth sessions to any students who are in the state of Wyoming, just in case if they need, someone to talk to just during all of this kind of time that we're in. Additionally, campus recreation is going to be open. You have to go onto Half Acre's website to schedule a time that you would want to be in Half Acre and working out during those times. The Wellness Center offers virtual offerings as well. So they're a really great resource to use if you're looking for tips and tricks on how to stay socially well, emotionally, physically well. They're one of my favorite resources to use on campus. But I think that's kind of just a handful of things that'll still be available on campus. And students, you're more than welcome to also go look at some of the various websites that departments have put up, because they have some updated information as to how they're going to be going about their services in this particular year.
Yeah, and I would add too that STEP tutoring and CHASM is going to be open throughout all the phases. I work for STEP tutoring right now as a bridge English tutor, and we're working really hard to learn this new app that's going to be awesome for you all to use. So we'll be online when some students are online, and we'll also offer in-person offerings when some students are on campus in person. We're all kind of just figuring it out, but definitely check the STEP website if you're concerned about tutoring. Yeah, just reach out for that academic help, and I really, make sure you're not falling behind your classes.
That is fantastic. And I'm hearing you guys say, no matter what, and the situation, even though it is changing all the time, I think my takeaway is don't stop learning, right? Even though it's challenging and there are so many things occurring, this is still a great time to keep getting your education. So with that, I just want to say thank you for walking us through the phases and giving us a little bit of extra insight on the resources that we all hope students are taking advantage of. And with that, we'll just close and just say, if any student has any other concerns, please don't hesitate to call the COVID hotline. Particularly if you're moving onto campus, don't forget to use that hotline and call and choose option Residence Life, and they'll be happy to assist you on what phase you might be in. And we'll be back later talking about all other questions related to students and the new situation we all face. Have a great day. Thank you.